Alright, we got the rear diff solution here. If you can't tell, this is a front differential from a 2014. Slide over here. Get a good shot in here. As you can see, that's your locker right there. But we'll go ahead and take these wheels and axles out, pull the diff, put her on the bench so you guys can get a better look at what I did. Alright, so we got them on the bench here. And as you can see, the front mount and the rear mount on both the front and the rear differential line up. I'm 95% sure in the exact same spot. And in relation to those points, the center of your axles ends up at the same exact point as well. So in order to make your rear differential long enough to slip over your output shaft on your transmission, you'll have to take your mid-drive coupler here and mock it up in there, get a good measurement, because I believe it was 3/4 of an inch is what I got. So I measured 3/4 of an inch and cut it off. Gave it a nice 35-degree bevel or so on the ends of both your tail shaft and the drive coupler. Weld her up real nice. And the way that I line the splines up with it to keep from damaging the splines is I used an old inside CV shaft, pop the C-clip out, and that lines everything up real nice. So you'll be able to slip that in there, weld everything up, twist it around, work just fine. That'll engage. The way that this thing works is inside of here there's a forked plate with a drive coupler, and that drive coupler slips over this shaft and engages the drive to your carrier. To engage the four-wheel drive system here, you actually have to manually pull this plunger out, and I ended up just drilling a hole in a piece of pipe that I had and stuck a bolt through it. But you could just use a handful of washers or whatever you want. You just got to get that thing to stay out to keep this ring inside of here out so it makes contact with these teeth on your CV. As far as this pin here goes, when you pull this cover off, you can remove this pin. There is a C-clip on the back of this rod. You can pull the C-clip off, remove that, and then you won't have a nub sticking out. I didn't have any problem with it leaking. I just kind of filled some gasket maker inside that hole and played around with it a little bit. Feel free to do whatever you want. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. And another thing is, if you were like me and my uncle, we've beefed things up. So if you had the big spindle kit on the rear end of these things, you'll notice the splines go all the way across, and it's a bigger shaft. If you did this upgrade, you're gonna have to buy factory spindles. If you maintain to keep your factory spindles, this will work here with your factory setup, just like that. You'll notice the difference in these splines here. It's got full spline, it's a bigger shaft. This will not work. The rear hubs, factory, accept the same CV outer as the front drive shaft, so it'll swap out with no problems. And if this video helps you, hit the like button, drop a comment, let me know how your install went, anything you did different, I would like to hear about it, because then I can improve upon my setup as well. Tag your friend that needs to see this and share the hell out of it. Let's get these rides back out on the trails, man.